Skylar getting some over here. He just got it figured out. Oh, he's got it down now. Got the Mop Boy sticker. His little bright fanny pack going on there. Another scooter rider. Oh, he's got it now. You guys probably know Skylar by now, Hamlet Garage. He looks like Bob Ross. He's shaking his head. He doesn't know. Give me a thumbs up. See, he looks like Bob Ross. Paul out here living his best life, getting paid to ride wheelies on a bike he doesn't even own, which is great. Yeah, we'll go over the bike in a minute and we'll do a little bit of riding and kind of a tutorial on it or whatever, what it is, and explain kind of how to enter. Again, it's really easy. We've done this probably, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 times, something like that. But there you have it. No other shops are doing it except for us. So thanks for keeping us going, and we'll keep doing it. All right, guys, this is going to be a bit of an update on our S23 kicker. Very commonly people say, hey, we don't really know exactly where this thing goes. So I'm just going to do a quick, short little update on this. Not a lot of fluff going on here. So you're going to trim out your plastics. There's a factory square. If you have your fairings, you're going to have a factory square like that. You're going to want to cut that out. Next is the part's a little bit tricky. It's going to be up to you where you want it on your bike. I chose that spot. Now that cutout is made for some bikes that are going to have a factory tab on the frame, like one of my older frames. Here, I'll show you guys. If you have an older frame like this at 80, whatever year this is, I think it's 89, you guys are going to have a tab right there. So the 89s, maybe 90s, 89s, I know for sure, have a tab on the frame and it's threaded, and you just simply bolt that. You bolt that right there, okay? So there's a tab on the bike, pretty easy, super simple stuff. This guy right there. Now, the newer frames don't have that. And rather than making multiple designs for these kickstands, because they're not like a huge selling thing, we designed one, and it's up to you to weld it on the bike. I'll show you briefly. This bike, unfortunately, this is a good job to do with a MIG welder. Unfortunately, I only have my TIG here, so I'm just going to do it, clean it well. It should be totally strong. Give you guys a rough idea kind of where this is going to go. First things first, what you're going to have to do is take your floor off, your belly, all your stuff off. You're going to want your bike to sit like this. Once you've got your hole cut out of the fairing, you're going to have the fairing on here. You're going to take this, fish it up through, and you're going to kind of find where it sits just right on the frame. And bear with me, like I said, this is just tacked up here. But you're going to find where it sits good on this frame. And it really helps to have one person hold the stand. If you're MIG welding it, easy, just blast it in there, you can fill it. TIG welding is more of a pain, so you gotta have two hands. One person's gonna hold the stand if you're TIG welding. Get your ground up here, and you're gonna just weld it in there. But just to give you guys an idea of where I'm putting it on this bike, you wanna make sure this is not hitting the case too, because if you take it pivoted in, it's gonna hit the case. There are some clamp-on styles, but they suck. They spin, they strip, whatever. These things, once you weld them on, they're good to go. You're not gonna have any problems. So what I'm gonna do with this bike is finish this weld here. I'm gonna run a bead right on that inside there. I'm gonna clean it up, flip it over, and I'm gonna run a bead along that edge there. So again, this is definitely a better job for a MIG welder. TIG's a little bit more difficult because you've got a little bit of gap to fill, and it's typically you have a dirtier frame and grease. It's just kind of more of a pain, but that's what we're dealing with here today. So there you have it, guys. That is where it goes on the frame. Remember, if you have it too far angled down, you're gonna lean the bike over and it's not gonna sit right. If you have it too far pivoted this way, you're going to set the bike down and it's going to want to roll forward and flip the stand up. So keep in mind, what I typically do is I'll tack it lean it over, but I can tell just by the way this sits, that's gonna be about right. The other thing you can do too is if you want the stand to go forward more, you can just trim this little tiny edge here. And what that's gonna do is allow this to go further in this direction to give you a little bit more. You don't wanna go too far. So as you can see here, guys, the side stand fits really good. The bike sits at the right angle. Keep in mind, if you have a big shock riser on the back, it's gonna change kind of the angle that your bike's gonna lean over. Thanks for watching, guys. Post down below if you have any more questions.